Hello, Lens Legends, and welcome to another empowering episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we dive deep into the business side of portrait photography, one that will set you on a path to success. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your trusted guide on the business side. I want you to know that this show is in its 153rd episode. Yep, we've done 153. Uh, we started planning. I say we, uh, the Digital Pro Lab, Amanda at Digital Pro Lab, and I started working on this in 2020, and actually got it. It took a little bit of time to get it going and get it make it happen, and we began doing the show in 2021. And so now on our 153rd episode, and we've got two sponsors to make this free for you, and one is Digital Pro Lab, and oh man, if you don't work with Digital Pro Lab already, why not? They're fantastic. The employees that work there are team members of you. They make you look like a hero. Go to digitalprolab.com to get more information and find out what Amanda and her team can do for you. You'll be impressed. And then, of course, my business, Landers Photography School, where we teach the photography side, and we used to teach a ton of classes on the photography side, and we still teach a few as private courses for the most part, a group class here and there. But we spend most of our time now on the business side, helping photographers stop struggling and make photography a real income. You guys that think that it's not possible, you're wrong. You're just not doing it right. Now, I know that doesn't make you feel good when someone says you're not doing it right, but if you're struggling, how's that right? I think I'm just stating fact, and I know how to help, and you're going to love it. For instance, today, we're going to uncover a secret to unlocking your potential, a secret then that transforms your career and your life. All I ask is that you focus on what's most important. Now, if you're looking at that photograph that's on there, that is an AI generated image of me. I uploaded a photograph to Leonardo.ai and asked it to create a illustrative version of me. It did okay in some areas. It's a good looking guy, but I don't know if I like it or not. AI keeps on improving though. So I'm sure glad you guys are here with me today. In a profession with limitless possibilities, you might be wondering if narrowing down your focus is the right move. Now, don't be confused. This show is about the business side of photography. And so when I talk about focus, I'm not talking about your lens. I'm talking about your life and your business. I've heard the arguments against choosing a niche, and there no doubt those arguments are compelling. But here's the exhilarating truth: specialization is your gateway to unparalleled success in portrait photography. While there are valid arguments against choosing a niche, it's important for photographers to weigh the pros and the cons carefully. Niche specialization offers many benefits, such as establishing authority, building a dedicated client base, and commanding higher prices for specialized services. Ultimately, the decision should align with the photographer's goals and aspirations. Now, before I go any further, if you're watching this live today, will you do me a favor and go over to the comment section and enter in hashtag live? Let me know you're here. Hashtag live. Hashtag live. And for those of you who want to let me know who you are, actually going across the screen is just some information saying that we use a platform called StreamYard. And if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, then you're giving StreamYard permission for me to see your name. Otherwise, I won't be able to see it within the StreamYard software, but that's fine. If you want to remain anonymous, don't do that. But that's what it's there for. I'm going to take that off. So streamyard.com/Facebook. And please enter in hashtag live into the comments section so I know you're here, so I know you're watching. So, uh, shout out to a couple of you. I see Eduardo, I see Dave, I see Facebook users. I'm glad you guys are here. Again, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're here watching live right now. All right. You may think that specialization or a niche means one tiny thing, like doing just family portraits for the rest of your life. And while it can mean that, it could also be specializing in the things that families do and enjoy, which could include kids' activities like birthdays and sports, high school seniors, even weddings. You may think, well, that doesn't sound like specializing. Hmm, it's how you word it. Because specializing or specialization isn't about confining yourself to one narrow path. It's about becoming a magnet for the clients you want to work with. It's about aligning your passion, your goals, and determination to create a clear, laser focused path to what you define as success. And you have to define it. It'd be like getting out on the road and just driving down every road that looks good, or going to a tool store and buying every tool that looks good. You're going to run out of money and time if you do that. Let's not. Let's focus our attention on one thing, get the attention of those who we want to work with most. And if they want to ask for other things, hey, maybe we say yes. Now, I'm going to give you an opinion that is controversial. Let me know what you think in the comments, but here's that thought. In my opinion, you cannot be successful in photography if you do everything. Sure, you can press the button in front of anything, but you cannot get known by your target market for everything. Do you think everyone with some money is your potential client? Do you think that you are an expert at everything in photography? If you say yes to everyone and everything, you are more likely to struggle in this profession. A successful person knows when to say no. And it's not because of a bad attitude. It's not because they already have something scheduled that day. It's because successful people know what's best for themselves as an artist and business person, and what's best for their clients that are the most ideal for them. The reason is because they have defined a minimum of these two things: what they are doing and who they're doing it for. Now, there's a lot more things to define and describe, but those are the two basic ones. A successful person knows what they're doing, they're very clear. They also know who they're doing it for. Again, very clear. It's not something that's just vaguely in their mind. It's something well thought out. It's in writing, and it's even displayed in their workspace. If you aren't where you want to be today, maybe it's because you're trying to do too much. Maybe you're watering down your effectiveness. One of the top reasons photographers fail to become profitable is because they are spread too thin. Spreading yourself too thin leads to struggles in this profession. Specialization is the secret weapon that distinguishes you. While specializing is almost always the right tool for portrait photographers, it may take on a different description depending on your target market, what it is you're trying to accomplish, who it is you're trying to accomplish it for. Imagine this: people will not remember the 127 things that you have the ability to press the shutter button in front of, but they can remember one, especially if it's carefully worded. Doesn't it stand to reason that only those who remember you and what you do become clients? This world is full of distractions. Why give prospects several more things to remember? To match your limited marketing budget, your limited amount of time, and the ease of your target market to remember what you do, I recommend that you have just one thing that you get known for. But that brings us to a question. What should you narrow it down to? That is a question that often leaves photographers in a state of at least uncertainty. Today, I'll provide the answers in a way that will make your niche selection crystal clear and leave no room for doubt. By the way, this lesson comes with a guarantee. Now, you may think that's odd. I'm not being charged for this. What would the guarantee be? Money back? uh, no. I guarantee, I'm going to put this up on the screen right now. I guarantee that you will find your niche during this lesson, or I'll give you a free private session to help you discover it. That's the guarantee. You're going to find it. Now, just pull out your cell phone, photograph that QR code, and it'll take you to my calendar so that you can put yourself on it. Now, you can do that right now if you want to, or come back to it later. But that's the guarantee. And you know what? If you just want to go over what you've come to as a result of this show or something else, well, if it's business related, take advantage of it still. So that's the QR code. Photograph it. Taking it off the screen for now. By the end of this episode, not only will you believe in the magic of specialization, but you'll also discover your own niche and begin to become an exclusive photographer that people beyond your reach come to know and remember. So, together, let's discover your passions, your likes, and your interests. I'll help you narrow them down so you can focus on what's most important. Yep, the title of our show. I'm going to provide actionable steps to identify your niche, define your interests, and ultimately choose a specialization that aligns with your goals and aspirations. Photography is vast, but don't be concerned because I'll guide you through the process of selecting the niche that resonates with your heart and sets you on the path to success. You won't be limited by your choices. You'll simply know which ones to focus on and which ones to accept if they happen to fall in your lap, what I call spin-off business. It's time to focus on what's most important. I'm here to guide you through every step of the way. So I hope you're ready for an episode filled with ideas, motivation, and actionable steps to make your mark in the world of portrait photography. Now, let's start by, let's move forward by, let's see, discovering your passions and interests. In a profession as vast as photography, it's important to identify not only what you are willing to do, but also what you're genuinely passionate about. Your journey to success begins by aligning your personal interests with your business. Now, I have an opinion on some things you should know and do, some things you must know and do, and things that you shouldn't do. So let's um let's go over those real quick. I believe that you should have a broad perspective of photography. That probably means taking some classes on the photography side, but also the business side. Now, to go further on that photography side, I believe you should have a knowledge of a wide variety of skills, situations, equipment, lighting. Those are things that I think you should have. But there are a couple of things I believe that you must have. Choose a specialization. This will help you place yourself in the minds of those you want to work with, which sets you up for potential to succeed and become profitable. I also believe that you should chase your passions. So here's a couple of don'ts. Don't chase money. If you're doing this right, that's just the side effect. So don't chase the money. Allow it to happen with a plan, of course. And don't worry that others are better than you. Most won't even be around in the next 5 years. And don't expect things to work overnight. No, nobody expects it to work overnight, but that's just an expression. It's going to take some time. I believe that you need to be taking the advice of those, or excuse me, I don't take the advice of those who have not experienced where you want to be. Follow these 3 steps to know what your photography niche is. There we go. So I'm going to go over 3. There's actually some more, but in the interest of time, I'm going to share with you 3. The first is identify your interests and your passions. Take some time with this. All 3 of these steps, I want you to take some time with them because these are your homework assignments for today. I want you to take a moment to reflect on interests that genuinely excite you and things you totally believe in, all of which are outside of your photography business. So the second one is going to be about your photography business, but this first one, make this about things not having to do with your photography business. So your life, what is important to you? What gets you excited? What do you believe in? Now, if you did the last week's assignment, then you would have filled out this form right here that shows your life goals. And these are 11 categories that I've identified. You may have more or less, but those are the ones I've identified: family, career, health, relationships. And each one of those categories, you write a description of your ideal life, what ideal looks like in health. What does your ideal health life look like? It's ideal, not what you have today necessarily. For most of us, not at all what we have today, but what would ideal look like in each one of the categories that are important to you? So that's this first step. What's making your heart race with enthusiasm? Maybe we're getting specific. Some of those things that are on that life goals list that really make a difference to you. I want you to take a moment and write everything down that comes to mind. Of course, I want you to write down your thoughts about the photography side, but that is for the next section. Identifying your interests helps you to plan a path to match them to your photography business. So, list the things you enjoy outside of photography. Oftentimes, that's your hobbies, your personal interests. These are going to provide valuable insights into your passions that should be considered when specializing. Consider the things you like to do, the things that get you excited, the things you aspire to do, the things that make you proud, the things you want for others, the things you just can't live without. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. Your passions are unique to you, and embracing them is the first step towards a fulfilling career. All right. Are you guys hearing some stuff that you like so far, that you can identify with, that you resonate with? If so, will you do me a favor? Go over to the comments section. Let me know. You can just give me a yes if you want to, or a thanks. I appreciate that. Whatever you want to say, but let me know. Interact with me. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're thinking. Give me a comment. And if you're liking what I'm saying or loving what I'm saying, there's a like button and a love button for that. Click it. I I like it when I see that. I bet you do too. All right. So the second one is, I want you to identify what you want to do in photography. Photography is a vast topic that touches every area of our lives. So let's focus on the types you enjoy and want to do as an income source, such as a specific genre, a technique, subject matter. I want you to take just a moment and address, or I want to take a moment to address the myth of chasing money. While it's true that some niches may be more lucrative than others, I don't want you to allow the allure of the money to exclusively guide your choices. I believe that pursuing areas you're not passionate about is one of the many contributors to burnout and dissatisfaction. In other words, what I generally call struggle. Let me give you an example. What, let's say that you're considering or you're doing wedding photography. You may not be, but you can still relate to this. What is the reason you do or are considering to do wedding photography? You've got to honestly ask yourself this question. If you're interested because you perceive that it's financially rewarding, or because you genuinely enjoy capturing love stories and special moments, do not photograph someone's once in a lifetime event if your main interest is simply taking their money. Now, that's part of it. I chose the word main interest for a reason. Yes, money is a fantastic side effect, and one of the major things that causes you to have a difference between a hobby and a business. However, this is someone's once in a lifetime event. If your sole reason for doing it, you just don't like it, but you like the money, please allow those that love it to have all those jobs. It's not fair to the couple, and their once in a lifetime event to have someone who's just greedy doing it, who doesn't care about them as much as someone who loves doing it. Hey, my opinion, you don't have to agree, but that's how I feel about it. Now, success often follows when you're passionate about your work. Clients sense your enthusiasm, and that translates into better results and more significant opportunities. Now, let's let's talk for a moment about assessing your current capabilities. So not necessarily just the things you want, but the things you're able to do today, because I believe that understanding your current capabilities is going to help you make informed decisions about choosing your niche right now. What existing knowledge, skills, and equipment do you have? I want you to consider any formal photography training, workshops, time spent with mentors, courses you've taken. These experiences can shape your expertise. Think about the tools and equipment that you have. Also consider your photography, the different types of gear you have. Different niches may require specific equipment. And if possible, I want you to consider only types of photography where you already have what you need or you're easily able to afford it. If you're not easily able to afford it, then we don't consider it when we're choosing our specialization today. That doesn't mean you don't change it later. You're not carving it in stone. We're just writing it down. It can be changed. So take some time to reflect on the aspects of photography that you enjoy. If you were taking one of my classes, I'd actually give you a list of different types of photography, but you can do this on your own. Write down all the different types of photography that you, if asked, would photograph. You'd be willing to photograph. You might make a list of things you wouldn't be willing to photograph too. That way you can see it at one time. But the list I want you to have is just your favorites. Now, it's fine to have 38 favorites at this stage, but that's going to change if you continue to follow along with me. I'm sure you can imagine. So let me just throw out several different types of photography just so I know that we're on the same page. So this could be general portraiture, on location portraits, in studio portraits, bridal and engagement portraits, executive portraits, staff portraits, pets, different types of animals, family portraits, of course, children's portraits, glamour, models, fashion, schools, sports teams, and a whole lot more. How about another category, event photography? Because a lot of portrait photographers do events as well. So, action sports, weddings, although weddings really deserves its own category, quinceañeras, which is very similar to weddings, group portraits, couples, individuals at events. How about banquets, conventions, special events, business events, charity events, concerts, publicity, press release? Alright. A lot of those and a lot more that I haven't mentioned, but write down whatever works for you, whatever you enjoy, whatever you would do if asked. How about general commercial, architectural, real estate, tabletop, large products, catalog photography, public relations and publicity? A lot of portrait photographers do some of those things. General corporate photography, postcards, brochures, catalog sheets, photojournalism, editorial, newspaper, magazine, illustrative, advertising, aerial photography, drone photography, food photography. That list keeps on keeping on, doesn't it? How about the artistic side? Photo illustration, black and white only, fine art, bodyscapes, landscapes, and maybe some things that are just kind of on their in their own wildlife, architecture, art, environmental, forensic, high speed, like water droplets, bullets, historical. I like those before afters. Infrared, macro, medical, micro, nature, night, panoramic, passports, photojournalism, documentary style, candid style, still life, stock, street, time lapse, underwater. There's a lot of different types of photography. And you know what? Photography touches every area of our life. So that list is short compared to what you might be able to come up with if it was your goal just to come up with different types of photography. But your goal is to just write down the things that you do or are willing to do. Write them all down. We're going to narrow it down in a little bit, so don't think you're doing too much. Just write it all down. And I also want you to add in, this is actually as a step towards the topic that we're doing 2 weeks from now, but I want you to add in your own specific considerations. This could be technique, style, types of people, like if you photograph women only, or if you specialize in business owners. If you don't see it already, you are about to discover that specializing in an area you're passionate about is a strategic move, benefiting both you and your ideal client. It enables you to stand out in a crowded market and build a loyal client base. Specialization doesn't mean limiting yourself to a single genre. It's about prioritizing your passions, conveying your offering in a way that attracts your ideal clients while remaining open to related opportunities. So let's talk about how to narrow the options. How to narrow the options. Choose choose what matches your interests. Pursue what you are most passionate about. You won't be limited to your choices. You will just know which ones to focus on and which ones to accept if they happen to fall in your lap. Again, what I call spin-off business. The first thing I want you to do in this third section is go back to the first section. This is where you wrote down things that were important to you unrelated to photography. I want you to circle the things that are most important, the things that have the most impact in your world. Then star the ones that you couldn't live without. I want you to reevaluate that list as you're doing this. You may find some things to add to it. You may make some changes. That's great. But I want you to reevaluate and confirm the ones you can't live without. And I want you to write them down in a separate piece of paper. Write them down. All right. The second thing that I want you to do in this third section of narrowing your focus is go back to number 2. This is where we wrote down all the different types of photography that we enjoy, that we could do, that we would do if someone asked. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to reevaluate. I want you to circle the ones that you really enjoy. And then I want you to put a star next to the ones that you couldn't live without. And I want you to write down the ones that you starred. Just those. That's it. Leave the rest where they're at. Now, the third thing in this third section is from number 1 and number 2 above. So that means just the types of things that you enjoy and are passionate about, and the things that can't live without in on the photography side and your own personal side. From those, choose the niche that follows your passions, your goals, and your path. You may find that you're already doing it. You may find, well, you may have experience an epiphany. You didn't realize. You're now aligning your personal passions with your photography passions. And when you do that, you're unstoppable. Even when you're tired, worn out, you're going to keep going because you believe in what it is that you're doing. You're not just doing it for money. By the way, that is the definition agreed, doing something solely for the accumulation of money, not having any real emotion towards it whatsoever, which photographers generally do not have. But they may be doing certain things that do fall in that category. They do have to be honest with themselves. You may think, well, I'm not going to make enough money if I don't do certain things. Guys, if you do this right, you absolutely will. By the way, I don't expect you to know what's right. I don't know what's right for you until after I've visited with you. So I am being somewhat general and somewhat specific here. But that's why photographers work with me on teaching and coaching, because I open their eyes to these interesting things, and I keep them on the path that causes them to reach the goals that they want. Otherwise, they're wandering. Photographers, the majority of photographers spend their entire career wandering, and they don't know it. They're completely unaware. They may know that they should raise their prices. They may know that they could bring in more business. They may know that they're not making enough income to buy that next camera that they need, but they don't see it as being a problem with their foundation. They're too much in the short term parts and not enough in the long term parts of running a business. Guys, that's what I do. That's what I help people with. So, as a result of looking at your passions that are not photography related and your passions that are photography related, you now are able to choose your niche. I want you to write it down. Now, it might be vague, it may not be pretty at this point, but write it down and then reevaluate it and make it a little bit better. But don't worry about it being the final version. Not yet. I want you to describe why this niche is your choice. Now, to you, it will be obvious because it's your passions, but describe it anyway. Why is this your choice? Part of the reason you want to do this is because we change over time, and you need to be able to reevaluate why you were thinking that this is your passion, this is your niche. We need to reevaluate it, go back through it, make sure that it's still right. And the only way we would know is understanding why that is our choice. Does that make sense? If it does, tell me in the comments. Let me know. What are you thinking? Does this sound good? You enjoying this so far? There's a little bit left, but are you enjoying this so far? Are you hearing some things that you could benefit from? I'm gonna look over in the comment section real quick. Let's see. Yep. Rick says, "My passion is photography." I hear you. It's not a very good niche, but it definitely is a really good thing. Me too. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Wesley. Wesley says, "Nothing great in this world has ever been accomplished without passion." Yeah, we don't accidentally wind up at our definition of success. Let's say if we're traveling from one city to the next, we don't accidentally wind up there. We wind up there because we planned it and we got on the path to get to where we were going. That's why we got there. Thank you, Wesley. uh, let's see. Nice. I'm looking through all the by the way, we are simulcast to 8 different places, and so the StreamYard software, makes it easy to it brings them the comments all into one window so that I can see it all at one time. You won't be able to see all the different, comments, so I'm looking through comments from 8 different places, and if you're looking at the comments, there may be very few there, or none, and it's because you're on one of the 8, and so it will take me just a little bit of time to get through all of these, but not long. Huh. No, that's so this is Carol. This is I like this, Carol. So she says her my passion is capturing dogs' personalities, mostly dachshunds, who are in rescue to help build their bios. Man, that's cool. This assists in finding their forever homes. Ah, love it. Thank you, Carol, for doing that. That's pretty cool. Cool. Right. Yeah. Continue to, and you know what? If you guys have chosen a passion right now, or if you are a niche, or you already have chosen a niche, will you let me know? Tell me in the comment section. So let me know what types of one thing or the few things that you specialize in. So once I did this for myself, I came up with a rough description of my niche and then eventually formed a prettier version. So I specialize in emotional portrait photography, emotional family portrait photography. Uh, and and I display it on their walls. So that's its final destination is on the wall of my client. So I want them uh, I I want my photographs not to sit on someone's hard drive. I'm fine with it being there. I'm fine with it being on social media. I like all that, but I want someone to be able to enjoy what I've created for them every day. I think it's that important in their life that they see this love every day, that they're reminded of it. I think it provokes an emotional response when someone sees it on their wall every single day. That's just me. So that's the type of client I want to attract. Those who want prints, those who want them on the wall. And if that's not something they want, they're not my ideal client. So therefore, there's others. There's a lot of others who don't do prints, don't do framing, and don't do installation. So therefore, it's not like they're not going to be that they're not going to be covered because they are. But I want people to enjoy what I've given them. Now you may say, well, they get to enjoy it if they see it on their screen. Yeah, if their screen's on and they have electricity. What about those days the electricity goes out? It happens. I still want them to be able to enjoy what I've created for them, because it's about their love, not about electricity. I don't want to add more variables to the mix. I want to limit the number of variables to them being able to enjoy their photographs. That's just me. That's one guy's opinion, and you don't have to share it. Now, I'm going to be going over I'm going to be covering something lightly today, but in detail on the show on February 19th. So now that you know your niche and your life goals, I want you to write or reevaluate your bio, your about me, your compelling description, whatever it is you call it, your business mission statement, and your target market. These things become easy once you've done the things we've talked about so far today. Let's talk about defining your target market. Just briefly, I'm going to go into detail on it on February 19th. What do you, excuse me, who do you want to work with? Where do you want to work? What area? For instance, my target market is a 10-mile radius. Now, people who watch this show are from all over the place. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. There's a lot of people in the area. There's, I don't know, 2.5 million. So therefore, within a 10-mile radius, there's an extreme minimum of 100,000 people. Now, if I can't make it in the photography business with 100,000 people in my area, the problem isn't the clients. The problem is me. Seriously, guys. By the way, if you're in San Antonio and you're trying to market to all of San Antonio, 2.5 million. Guys, you don't have that much of a marketing budget to canvas that many people. Come on, get real. You don't have that. You don't have the ability, you don't have the time. Focus your attention and you'll get exactly what you're after. I market within a 10-mile radius, or I did when I was active in photography. Now I'm active in helping photographers. So 10-mile radius, that's it. That's all I needed. And you may think, well, maybe you're on the expensive side of town. Well, okay, that may be true, because my office then was on I-10 outside of 1604. So that area does have a good share of people who have money. But you know what I found? The majority of my clients didn't come from the expensive homes in the area. It came from the average Joes. Yeah, you're making money not from people who have lots of money, but from people who have lots of value for what you do. That's who you market to. Those guys will save up if they have to in order to work with you. When you target a very specific, well defined niche market, it is easy, or at least easier, to stand out. Plus, if you do this completely, it tells you where to find your prospects and how to get their attention. Doesn't that sound great? All right. Defining your target market and defining your ideal clients, there's a little bit of overlap. They are different things, but your ideal client is going to be a very detailed, almost something you really don't want to show others, but you're going to not make your brainstorming would be that, but your description wouldn't be. But your ideal client description is part of your target market. It's just the ideal client has a lot more information in it that describes who they are. So, in addition to discovering your niche and narrowing down your photography interest, it's equally important to define your ideal client. These are the individuals or businesses, whoever it is that you work with, that you most want to work with. Understanding their characteristics shapes what you do and how you do it. Things like identifying the personality. You may not even think about that, but man, there are people who you work well with and people who don't fit that description. Wouldn't you want to fill up your calendar with people you do work well with? Not someone who you're forced to work with as you were working in some retail business. You don't have to do that. Work with people who value what you do. That's one huge advantage of being a portrait photography business owner. So consider the personality traits of your ideal client. Are they outgoing and adventurous? Do they lean more towards being introverted and contemplative? Understanding their personalities helps you tailor your approach and communication style to better connect with them. Let's talk about the industry or niche. Think about the uh, your ideal clients. What are they doing? What is their industry? What is their niche? Are they couples planning weddings? Families looking for portrait sessions? Businesses seeking corporate headshots or something entirely different? Defining your industry can help you target your marketing efforts effectively. Now, we also want to talk about their preferences, their values. So dive deeper into your client's preferences and values. What do they prioritize? Are they looking for a specific style, a mood, an environment, or an atmosphere? Understanding their preferences allows you to create customized experiences. Got to think about the demographics too. Consider factors like age, gender, location, maybe income level. These demographic details influence your pricing strategy, marketing channels, and the services that you offer. Let's talk about relationships and networks. Think about your ideal clients' relationships. Do they have a lot of them? Who do they have them with? Do they value referrals and word of mouth recommendations? Are they well connected within their communities or their industry? Building relationships with your ideal client leads to valuable referrals and repeat business. Again, something we all want. Consider communication channels too. Where are your ideal clients hanging out online and offline? Are they active on social media? Do they attend particular events or read specific publications? Knowing their preferred communication channels allows you to target your marketing efforts. You'll know where they are so that you can put yourself in their path. And of course, solving their needs. Consider specific needs, consider specific problems that your ideal clients might have that your photography business can address. Tailor your offerings to provide solutions that resonate with them, showcasing how your services and expertise can benefit them. By defining your ideal clients, you create a clear picture of who you want to work with and how you can attract and serve them best. This understanding will guide you and your marketing efforts, your strategies, your client interactions, your overall business decisions, helping you build a thriving business that aligns perfectly with your niche and your passions. How you guys feeling about this? Give me a like, give me a love if you're here and if you're liking this. Go over to the comments section. Tell me what your thoughts are on this. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. Maybe certain parts, but not everything necessarily. I do have an opinion. It is based in my experiences and the experiences of the 4,000 plus students that I've had and the experiences of those that I read online. So it's based on something real, but that doesn't mean that everyone comes to the same conclusions, even if they have all the same inputs. So tell me your thoughts. What do you think? Tell me in the comments section. Well, Lens Legends, that's you. We have come to the end of our show. So let's talk about the closing thoughts. I want you to reflect on the empowering insights that you've gained today. I want you to remember that specialization isn't about confining yourself to one narrow path. It's about becoming a magnet for your clients that you want to work with. It's about aligning your passions and your goals and determination to create a clear, laser focused path to what you have defined as success. Now, here are the four main things that you learned today. Saying yes, the first one. Saying yes to everyone and everything can lead to struggles. The second, by narrowing your focus and defining your niche, you'll avoid spreading yourself too thin. Number three, this is a competitive industry. You already know it. So, therefore, standing out is essential. I don't think I'm going to get much argument there. But here's where I might get some argument because I believe that specialization is your secret weapon to standing out. Imagine becoming the go to photographer for your niche, someone that clients remember, that they recommend, and they return to time and time again. By defining your ideal clients, you're not just attracting business, you're creating meaningful connections with those who resonate with your style and approach. This deeper understanding allows you to offer tailored experiences that are going to exceed their expectations. Sounds good, huh? As you continue on this path, remember that success in photography is as much about defining what you want. I'm going to say that in a different way. Success in photography is as much about defining what you won't do as it is about what you do. It's about being true to your artistic vision. It's about knowing your worth. It's about delivering exceptional value to your clients. So embrace the magic of specialization. Trust in your unique journey and never underestimate the impact that you can make in the lives of your clients through your portrait photography. Your journey to focus on what's most important has just begun, and the possibilities are limitless. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I want you to stay focused, stay inspired, and keep capturing those timeless moments that define your passion and your art. Now, as you know, you get the Portrait Profit Show every single Monday. So I want to give you a look at, at what's coming. And so I'm going to tell you what's coming for the rest of this month, and I'll put that up on the screen so you can follow along. So 1 week from today, that's the second, it's on February 12th. That is the second Monday of the month where we move the time from noon to 6:30 in the evening so that we can have a panel discussion. And this one is entitled To Reach Success, Define What You Want. We'll have three panelists coming on to share their thoughts, share their opinions, so that you can hear things like we've been talking about today and on past episodes of the Portrait Profit Show from others, three others specifically. And I'll ask them question. I'll ask them the same exact question so you can hear the answers from three different points of view. So put it on your schedule, February 12th at 6:30 for the panel discussion To Reach Success, Define What You Want. And then on February 19th at noon, yep, the regular time, Crafting Your Portrait Photography Identity. Stand out or fail. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm stating a fact. In this show, I'll share the steps to crafting an unforgettable portrait photography identity. You'll discover how to define your mission statement, create a compelling self description, pinpoint your ideal clients, and target your niche market. Elevate your brand and make a lasting impression. Put it on your calendar, February 19th at noon, crafting your portrait photography identity. And to round out February, yep, already talking about the end of February when it just barely started. On February 26th at noon, you get your guide to a profitable, low volume portrait photography business. Now, what's low volume mean? Well, it means the opposite of high volume. What's high volume? Things like school picture companies that are doing hundreds a day. Low volume may not do even 100 in an entire year. They may do one a week, one or two a month, but generally it's about between 4 and 20 a month, low volume. That range varies depending on what type of work someone does. But you have a passion for portrait photography. But do you have a thriving, profitable business? Join me as I unveil the 18 essential steps, a roadmap that actually works. If you're eager to boost your profits, take control of your time, and build a business you love, this topic is your guide. Put it on your calendar. February 26th, your guide to a profitable, low volume portrait photography business. Guys, we've come to the end of another Portrait Profit Show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, Lens Legends, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep making your mark in the world of portrait photography. I believe in you. I believe in your journey towards success. I believe it's just beginning and that you are going to reach it. Each one of us has the power to elevate the art of photography, to enrich the lives of our clients, and to contribute to a community that's as dynamic and beautiful as the wonderful images we create. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make each and every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. I encourage you to like and share the Portrait Profit Show. And of course, tune into our next live stream 1 week from today at 6:30 in the evening because it's the second Monday of the month. Together, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, this is Jim Landers bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.